There is no perfect public bank in the world, but there are public banks that have some really positive elements to them and features that I think are worth looking at and considering as models for how we can rethink not only public finance, but public banks and the role of public banks in funding public infrastructure like water, energy, transportation. One bank that is regularly regarded both within academics, CSOs, and the literature is the German Public Development Bank, the KFW. It's been around since 1948. It's a huge bank. It has hundreds of billions of euros in assets. It's done things like targets or measures its lending according to the Sustainable Development Goals. It has a significant amount of loans supporting municipalities. And when it supports municipalities, for example, they do preferential lending, so on cheaper terms, or if they set metrics around energy efficiency, if the municipalities exceed agreed upon metrics, then they'll give rebates back on the loan to make it cheaper or more favorable to municipalities. So they really work with public sector and entities to help them succeed in what they're doing. And it's also a development bank. So it's also active internationally. In the book, we talk about its role providing grants and support to Palestine, the occupied territories, to help build infrastructure within the territories there, the constant need of financial support, and loans simply are not appropriate there. But it's also a bank that is well governed. There's always criticisms, and there always will be. Public banks don't exist outside of society. They're subject to all kinds of pressures and competing demands and requirements. But it has a democratic board. It has in a 37 member governing board. It has members of governments that sit alongside members of society, which includes trade unions, includes small businesses, other banks, cooperative banks, and so they've created a forum, in fact, within the KFW that enables people to speak to each other. So you have a public bank that is not artificially severed from society and says it has to be out there, but it actually is forced to work together between society and government, and which creates imperfections and challenges. But it's an example of having to work together. And that's ultimately what we need to do. Is we need to create those spaces for dialogue, accountable and transparent, for democracy. It is a democratized public bank.